All right, Luke, today we are talking about the red hot housing market. Everybody is still just talking about this one. Mortgage applications increased 16% from 1 week ago. Refinance applications increased 20% last week. So what do I need to consider before buying a home, especially because right now we can borrow for next to nothing with mortgage rates dropping again?
Yeah, definitely. So with mortgage rates at an all-time low, it's definitely made a lot of people think that now's the time to go out and buy a home. But in reality, I was just reading yesterday that over 50% of homes at this time are selling for over asking price. Now, that
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean that the banks are going to be able to lend you that amount of money. So you have to be careful if you're offering a price that's well over what it's going to appraise for. You may have to come up with extra money to put down on the loan instead of just the standard 20%.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I had to do that when we made an offer to say that we would take, cover that difference in any appraisal cost too. You have to jump through so many hoops these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
As we consider though, okay, of course, buying a home, refinancing is one question. How about buying a second home as an investment? Because as we see, investment homes, sometimes the price of a home goes up and up and up. So what do we think about there? Are we just in a bubble?
I struggle to call it a bubble because I think the term bubble makes you think maybe back to 2008, right? And you can see that
Oh,
on
yeah.
that graph. We had that 2008 really fast shot down. I think that was way more due to some irresponsible loan writing and that sort of thing, mortgage-backed securities that ended up crashing. That's not necessarily the case of what we're seeing now. What we're seeing now is just really a supply shortage and a demand overage. So I struggle to call it a bubble, but at the same time, I think it's hard to imagine as buying a second home that the value of that home would continue to climb on the path that we're seeing now.
So are there any other questions that we should be asking ourselves before we consider jumping into this crazy housing market?
Yeah, I think for retirees especially, there's this hesitancy to refinance. There's kind of an age-old idea of wanting to have your mortgage paid off by the time
Right.
you retire. I don't think that's necessary, frankly, at this point. And even retirees could look at refinancing into a 15 or a 30-year mortgage in order to free up some cash flow. If you're able to take some of that money, continue to set it back, for a rainy day, it's going to make a lot more of an impact with mortgage rates sitting so low.
Yeah, I know, 2.9%, lowest level since February 2021. This is complicated though, and people do have a lot to consider whether or not, what's right for them. Of course, if you're close to retirement, if somebody has questions and they'd like you to walk them through it, how do they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. They can go to www.ikenberryretirement.com. Our whole team has their contact information there, phones and emails. So that would be the best way to get a hold of us.
Super easy. All right, Luke, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.